Welcome to Black and White, a conversation with Dan Perkins. It's time to bring all of us together to talk about the issues that concern us. It's time to hear from people who want to deal with only the facts. And it's time for you, as Americans, to re-engage in your right of freedom of speech. It's time for you to join me in the conversation on Blacks and Whites. Inflation for most people is causing them to use their credit cards to try and make up for income shortfalls. How big is this problem? In the second quarter of 2022, Americans added $46 billion to their credit card balances. Some of that could be you. The Federal Reserve Consumer Credit Report showed that the rate of interest on credit cards went from 14.56 to 16.65%. Those Americans struggling with credit card debt saw their delinquency rates escalate from 1.66% to 1.81%. The Cambridge Debt Consolidation Program may be able to help you reduce the interest rates by 2/3 and cut your time to pay off the debt from 30 years to as little as 5 years. If you're struggling and you want professional and objective help getting your credit house in order, then call 1-855-435-2066 or go. Welcome back to Blacks and Whites, and joining us today is JaSON Shepherd, founder of Wiccan Social Media. He's an entrepreneur, a free speech advocate who has launched numerous social media platforms to provide alternatives to combat big tech censorship, and I've been trying to get him on the show for some time. His most recent press release has a very, very interesting headline. I'll just give you the quote, then you take it from there. You say you're predicting that Donald Trump will win in a landslide in 2024, and I ask you why.
Well, Dan, to be quite honest with you, you see it in the polls. He gets more support when people hurt him, and to be quite frank, every single person that actually looks and sees what this is actually for. I mean, you have New York indicting him for, they're literally utilizing state and federal law combined, which I don't think anyone's ever actually seen before. I mean, combining statutes to actually get this man. And then you see legitimate, selective, and vindictive prosecution, what is going on right now with the Miami indictment. And then we still have Georgia to go through and DC to go through. Every single time he gets potentially hurt, if you will, he gains more support. And on Wimkin, we put up polls every single time that he gets scathed. His numbers jump 3 or 4%. And we just put out a poll the other day. It had, I think, 2,500 respondents, 92% up from 89 after he answered this indictment and, went to Cafe Versailles and actually showed that legitimately he is a strong man and goes out there and is a man of the people. I just think people are actually sort of waking up to this. And again, we are now a police state. We are now in a situation that is unprecedented. I mean, we've been literally the last, 3.5 years, it's been nothing but unprecedented. And everything with Trump is a first, of course, but we're in a situation with him that people are starting to see what it really is. I mean, you had the Mueller report, you had situations with, now we have stuff coming out with Biden, and we have obviously seen Hillary Clinton. We know his campaign was spied upon. If they don't see this for what it is, which I really believe they are, and that's why his poll numbers keep growing, I don't think these people ever have a chance of being a real person or having any type of real opinion at all.
It seems to me that I understand what you're saying, and I think what you say makes a lot of sense. Back when Ronald Reagan was president and running for president, he talked a little bit about, quote, the silent majority. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of silent majority in this country today, primarily, I believe, because of the way the Democrats have acted in the last 4 to 5 years. And that is to suppress freedom of speech, to try and dictate what words we can use, how we use them. And so what happened is a lot of people withdrew from the dialogue. They don't talk about the issues anymore because they're very concerned that they're going to get shut out of social media, or somebody's going to attack them or call them a white supremacist or a racist or whatever. So they basically shut down. And that's one of the reasons why 2 years ago we started this network, is to begin to provide an opportunity for people, if they act civilly and respect other people's opinion, to come on and say whatever they want to say. We got very little headlines yesterday from the mainstream media with the filing of the impeachment proceedings against Joe Biden. two things happened this week that I think, if they unfold properly, will be devastating to Joe Biden and the Democrats. One is the announcement by the guy from Burisma that he's got 17 tapes
Sure.
speaking with Joe Biden and taking money. And number two is the attitude, how the Americans are reacting to all of these charges against Donald Trump. And when's the last time you heard anything, for example, out of New York City? Long time.
Yeah, and
And so
brag
they
with
make their
post
splash,
books,
but then they go away. And
oh yeah,
so you also make the point that he's running a significant ahead of Ron DeSantis, my governor from Florida.
mhm.
He's number two. Everybody else that's said they want to run for president in the Republican Party are into single digit numbers. So I don't know what the scenario would be that would cause. There was an interesting article I read this morning, which I was about to say what the scenario would be that Trump wouldn't run. There's a story today on CNN
Okay.
that says that this reporter believes, based on their contacts in the Justice Department, the Justice Department is willing to negotiate a plea bargain with Donald Trump that if he resigns from the campaign, they will drop the charges.
I did not see this, and there's no way that's going to happen. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, that's incredible to me because an indictment is a charging document. We haven't seen his answer. He doesn't even have counsel yet in your state. I mean, at least unless that happened recently. We have to wait for his answer to this. I mean, we've seen his press conference, we've seen all that, but in actual court, we have not seen legitimate answers in this. And for them to put out a piece like that, that is just absolutely irresponsible. But what is CNN anyways? Let's be honest. That's all they are. But yeah.
Yeah, but the person who was commenting on what CNN had done is said they've gone back to Zucker's days, even though the other
Okay.
guy got fired after a
Yep.
year. But
Yep. Yep.
this is a Zucker approach, and so they don't know whether CNN is going back to the old approach to try and even Rachel Maddow was speaking about the same situation, a plea bargain with Trump in the Justice Department. So I wonder if the most damaging part are the tapes, because if the tapes are there and the Republicans can get them and play them, and we can actually hear the president of the United States agreeing to taking a $5 million or more bribe, and even the report that they didn't want to give the Congress, the leadership in Congress, in the House, the internal report from the whistleblower. Now we've been told that there are sub notes in the bottom of this report that alludes to other 1029s. They
Okay.
have more information. So it doesn't. It's like the Democrats really don't know what to do. I'm still taken, Jason, how much fear of God Donald Trump puts in Democrats.
And you know what? We really have to go to the root of that. But what you just said to me, to be quite honest with you, is a classic example and one of the best examples I probably ever heard of the tail wagging the dog. I mean, honestly, this man, I don't think he ever set out to actually drain the swamp in these things. I think that when he started this, and maybe he had the idea in 2014, maybe he said, okay, I'm just enjoying this attention. Maybe I just seriously like being attacked. I mean, obviously he went on the news the other day and said, I kind of enjoy this now, but I don't understand it. The guy took us through, honestly, one of the worst pieces of history in the entire, all of our lifetimes. I mean, seriously, with COVID, and every single day, this man went on the news for an hour and a half, expecting to be attacked, expecting to have his words twisted. I just don't understand how I kind of wish I could trigger people like that. I mean, honestly, I have a ton of haters. We get probably 7 to 10 death threats a week just because they offer a free speech network. Free speech is a threat to Democrats and
Right.
liberal. But I honestly don't understand it. You said fear of God, and I don't know how many Democrats even believe in God anymore. I'll be straight up honest with you. What they are doing and what they support, it's very ungodly. And that's why I would support Donald Trump in any situation to run. And I think he was a fantastic president. Probably not the best speaker, Dan, as you know. He's not a very presidential person, but I don't think what we're going through, we don't need a presidential person anymore. I mean, they throw it back to him as much as he throws it to them. And I think they throw it first, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and I think you're right. However, where I might disagree with you about his speaking ability, he knows how to get a crowd up.
Oh God, nobody better. Nobody
Right.
better.
And so but I, we're still talking about we're talking about what's going on under the Russian collusion. We're still talking about that. We've had
Oh
a
yeah.
special prosecutor and other people looking at this and said, all these things are wrong. We got Comey saying last weekend he hopes that Joe Biden wins the presidency. Why? Because if Trump gets back in, I think there's going to be some problems for a lot of those people who got off scot-free.
Yes.
So um, interesting things. We got about 50 seconds for this first break, but
Sure.
interesting thing yesterday, the impeachment was not just of Joe Biden. The impeachment was for both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Mhm.
That's how they deal with the concern that people have. Gee, if you take Biden out, you got Kamala. You take them both out, and who would be the new president?
Absolutely.
Speaker of the House.
Yes, 100%.
We're talking with Jason Shepard, and we're going to take a break. But how can people follow you?
So Wimkin is again stands for World Must Know Now. Wimkin.com. It's WIMKIN.com. Also, after our 8-month App Store bans, you can get us in the App Store in Apple and Google Play.
We'll be right back with Jason. We are Americans, male and female, from many races and cultures from all over the world. One thing above all else is we are patriots who protect our nation and defend, when necessary, our Constitution from attacks both foreign and domestic. Today, as American patriots, we must take back our country from those who want to destroy it and us. We must start by taking back our children and their education. Parents, not union, should be in charge of our children's education. We must be sure that they are taught about the greatness of America and its people. Our children should not be indoctrinated with the belief that parents are racist and are evil and trying to destroy the world. As patriots, we must take back our country from foreign nations who want to destroy us and our way of life. Yes, as patriots, we want America to be first. We want an open and fair trade policy, energy independence, safe cities, and secure borders where we can grow and prosper as a nation of free people. Become an American patriot. Help take back America by voting Republican. Welcome back. And we're speaking with Jason Shepard, the founder of Wickham Social Media. And I wanted to deep dive a little bit on your organization.
Sure.
Tell us what you can offer our viewers and listeners on your
Well,
site.
sure. First and foremost, I can offer 100% data privacy. That's what we do. We were subpoenaed 3 times by the J6 Select Committee, and we literally could not cooperate. I mean, what they asked for, Dan, was egregious. They asked for every single member. At that point in time in 2021, we only had like 350,000 people. Now we're about almost 9 million. But legitimately, we offer data privacy. We couldn't cooperate with them. Our attorney shut them down, basically. I thought I was going to get dragged into Congress about it, but we just weren't big enough, I don't think, to make a statement. But we offer a Facebook meets a Twitter meets a YouTube and a TikTok. And I think that's why we were hit so hard by J6. I also think that's why we were banned from the app stores for 8 months. And when I say 8 months, we fought them for 8 months. We weren't like a parlor saying, oh, we'll bow to your content moderation demands. We didn't do that. We fought legally and we ended up winning. And all they made us do, Dan, was just take uncensored out of our name. That was it. After sending us 40 to 50 pages of, you need this content moderation. You need live people watching live videos to seriously make sure that nothing is wrong and nothing is being misstated. No, you're not going to dictate what people seriously think or their opinions. You can't do that. And that's what they wanted to do. And as you know, I'm a free speech absolutist, like truly a free speech absolutist. And I sacrificed a ton of money, and my goodness, I don't even have a personal life anymore because I do this. Like seriously, my girl is, she is a 3 and a 6-year-old that I unfortunately barely see. Even when they're around me, I still don't see them because I'm working so much. But I feel like it's our duty to do this. And people that actually have the drive and ambition that we do, obviously, I'm including you in this. It's necessary, and it's necessary now more than ever. And that's what they can expect on Wimkin. And we also just, we're already getting attacked on this, but we just started a TikTok alternative that's 100% data private, not data intrusive in any single way. It's called Realster. We're in front of now 17 states departments of education. So because we have parental controls where you're not going to see kids out there doing these trends and hurting themselves and even dying. I mean, it's insane. And we're getting attacked for that. I don't understand how a person can attack you for having parental controls and a safe app and an alternative to something that's Chinese that literally, this is how deep this goes. A lot of people go into their phone with their fingerprint. A lot of people go into the phone with their facial recognition. They have that. The CCP engineers wrote that app, and they have that. So if we ever do get in war with China, which seems more evident, to be honest with you, they are so far ahead of us in technology. It's not even funny. It's actually a very scary situation.
So talk about the resources at your disposal. How many people do you have? Where do you operate out of?
Sure.
I need to get a scope of what resources you have to generate your content.
So legitimately, we only have 13 employees. That's it. It it's sort of after what we went through with the app stores, and people, even the ACLU on Twitter was actually putting out hit pieces on us. I mean, legitimately saying, go post something. Not in that case, but anything you see, screenshot it and send it to the app stores. So it's almost like all of our users are actually really protective of us. I mean, they want a free speech haven. I mean, they really do, because they really have no other avenue to get it. But us as an organization, we only have 13. That's it. We really don't need any more at this point in time. I mean, once we write the code, it's sort of self-evolving. And again, like I said, our users are the best on earth. They will protect where they can be. I mean, every user has the ability to block, report, hide posts from if they don't like it. And people on Wimkin actually can scroll by that little thing where they don't have to assert their opinion on everything like you see on Facebook and Twitter and all these things. It's really that general, to be honest with you. I mean, and I'd say Wimkin's about 85% conservative, maybe about 7% independent, and the rest very liberal. So it's not an echo chamber.
Do you get content for your network from other approved providers?
You know what we actually do? We also we partner with a company called Your News, which is fantastic. It's from what I've seen and I've read at this point in time after 2 years, about 2,000 of their articles. We have an RSS feed that comes right in on the web version, and it's even localized. I mean, what Your News does is really neat. They have like citizen journalists is what they call it, and you get legitimate reporting. And I don't think we get that very often anywhere else, do we?
So if you've had a chance to look at Your News over the last, say, month or so, you probably ran into me there.
Oh, fantastic! So you're a friend of Sam Anthony, great guy.
Oh,
Fantastic
absolutely,
guy.
absolutely.
Yes.
I've been working with him to bring other people, because I have I've been in this business probably longer than you are, And I have a lot of people who are in their later stages of their careers, but feel like they've lost their freedom of speech.
Sure.
And what Sam gives them, along with us on our network, gives those people platforms to speak their mind and not have to worry about whether they're going to get canceled or sponsors are going to get angry with them. And
Oh
I've
yeah,
been trying to turn several of those friends over to Sam to get them
sure.
started. I mean, I think it's a phenomenal concept, and
It
uh,
is.
I love what he's doing, and he's incredibly responsive, and it's great. It is a new way to replace the New York Times,
Oh my goodness,
and
yes.
yeah, and I find it amazing that I can be out of between my zip code is between Fort Myers and
Okay.
uh, Tampa and on the north, or I was not Tampa, Venice on the north, and Naples on the south. So, but if he likes a story, he'll throw it on the national syndicate, which puts
Yes.
you in 200 cities instantaneously. So it's I think that the alternative media is growing rapidly because of the very reason that people want to see and hear different opinions. And the
I couldn't agree with you more.
thing I like about Sam is I can send him a commentary that I've written. I can send him a video of a commentary that I have done and a video on. I can send him my entire half-hour radio show, and he'll put it
Yeah.
in my slot. So I think it's a great evolution. What other things are you using for content?
Well, so it's kind of funny again on the Sam angle. So I developed Wendy Bell's app. I was on Wendy Bell's show for about, I'd say about 18 months. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's has a Newsmax show called Common Sense. And that's kind of what we are all about. I mean, yourself, Sam, I mean, legitimately. But we've had, again, back to Sam, we've had people offer us thousands and thousands of dollars a month to put their content there. And I won't accept it because I just don't believe it. Um, but as far as what we actually are doing for content
Just,
and things,
I have to ask you a question.
sure.
You don't take it because you don't believe what they're saying, or you don't believe in taking money for
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. Actually,
it.
it really is. I mean, listen, I like to pay my bills, trust me. But I
To pay your
we've
people.
had we've had so much we've had people try to infiltrate this platform so many times, and Sam knows this, and um, he's very grateful for the position he has on our platform, trust me, and I'm grateful to have him. I think it's just a loyalty issue. Like I don't want to charge him. I don't want to say, hey, this person just tried to offer us this and bump him out of there. No, people read what he has there, and they should read what he has there. And that's why I just won't change that. But as far as money, we do things with sponsorships. We do things with, user generated ads and things of that nature. So,
Mhm.
but so I like to help people. I mean, we've had a lot of individuals that I put up free ads for. There's no doubt about that. And
Mhm.
it's just the way it should be. Conservatives should look out for each other.
Right.
Truthers, whatever you want to call it. We have to stick together now than like we never have before. Even 3 years ago. Now is even worse when you have the DOJ weaponizing, I mean, themselves against anything that they just don't agree with, or who knows who's pulling that string. But that's something crazy too, Dan. On the side of the GOP, who's pulling the strings behind Governor Sununu saying that Trump's a three-time loser and can't win Georgia? And then you have, again, Chris Lick gets ousted because he does a Trump town hall on CNN. But then you have Pence. Then you have Chris Christie. What's going on? Like, this is just, if you really sit back and actually think about what is happening, who's pulling the strings on the GOP right now?
Good question. Good question. We only got
Yeah,
about a minute left.
sure.
So you said you're up to, what did you say, 17 million?
Oh, no, no, no. Right. right under 9. We scrub the platform once a week and we take all the bots off. It's not like when Elon Musk says, "Oh, we were 50% bots and they're gone." I had 700,000 followers on my first Twitter, which I still can't recover. And since I signed back up, I have literally like a whopping 456 followers. And I even paid the whatever it is, $199 or whatever it was for the year. But I think I put up 20 tweets and I have like 75 message requests from bots. So but we do scrub it, and we're right under 9 million of real users.
And where do you see it going?
Promote. I mean, honestly, it's not. If we weren't banned when we were banned, again, we were banned when we were number 1 in the app stores 3 days after Parler. Since I started this in August of 20, in that 5 months we were already banned, and we were always top 10, top 5 trending apps on Google Play. And not really sure Apple's dynamics with what they did in trending, but we were heavily downloaded, and we lost all of our download history. We lost all of that because they literally deplatformed us. But that's a good question. I mean, I'm always going to keep this going. I mean, legitimately, and our people keep it going. Our users need this place because there's no other place. You can go to Getter and you can't do anything. On our platform, you can upload 50 gigabyte videos because we have different security. They use something called Cloudflare, which limits you to like 6 minutes or 200 megabyte uploads. We don't do that. We also have video chat. You can live stream on our platform for free for 4 hours. You could do your whole show on our platform, Dan, for free. That's why I think app stores and the government came at us so hard, is because they can see how many avenues we actually have to disseminate information. And we are a threat. Legitimately, we are.
Yeah. We've had a wonderful conversation with JaSON Shepherd, and we're going to have you back on again, and hopefully I'll be back
please.
again on your network. Again, how do people join the conversation? How do they get involved?
Guys, again, WMKN, I know it's a weird name, but it stands for World Must Know Now. So just think, again, FCC call letters, they wouldn't let us take them, but WMKN. So it's WIMKIN, and again, stands for World Must Know Now, in honor of free speech. And our logo, as you see behind me, it's a panic button for the world. That's what that actually stands for. So, where you can sound off. It's kind of like the Staples button. I don't know if you remember that, but
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's honestly where I got the idea. I probably just got sued for that, but no, I'm kidding. But that's it, guys. In the Apple App Store and Google Play, and it took us 8 months to get back there. So I hope you do download us, because it does help us, and it helps us get ratings. And anybody who actually does care about free speech and the Constitution and this country really should be on our platforms.
So it's WIMKIN.com.
Yep, absolutely.
Super. Thank you, JaSON.
Thank you, Dan, so much. Take care.
We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us today, and we'd like to hear your comments or questions. So go to bwradionetwork.com. That's bwradionetwork.com, and give us your questions or comments. And thanks for joining us today.